over to the Midwest, specifically to Minneapolis, where $9 billion were stolen from the state of Minnesota by illegal Somalian criminals. And the president saying that they must pay big, they must pay a big price right now. That's from President Donald Trump. And, you know, then Governor Tim Walz was asked about it, and here was his response.
Would I have wanted to stop this? Would I have gone out? You know, if you think the governor goes out and checks somebody on Medicaid and if they were there, no, but that's somebody in government needed to do that. And if they didn't do that, or if there were loopholes in this, and what we found is these are poorly written and it left openings, and the goal was to get the money out. We'll fix that. But yeah, I'll take accountability for it. But what you're seeing here is you're seeing a weaponization. We'll continue to fix it. They're going to continue to come up with numbers that don't have it there, and it's sensationalized. I don't expect anything different from this administration.
What do you guys make?
And of course, you know, what is not, you know, he's clearly trying to not mention is the fact that we know at least some of the people that have been implicated in this were political allies, political supporters of both Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar. And neither one of them have any interest in, of course, getting to the bottom of who is behind all of this, because I'm sure we will find even more connections. This is what Ilhan Omar said, defending the program that she introduced in the House that led to all of these billions being stolen.
Yeah, it's a quote. She's telling Fox Digital. So this is the 2020 Meals Act. Ilhan Omar drops legislation intended to feed poor children during COVID because they might not have access, and it opened up a 100% USDA waiver that was exploited grotesquely. Fox News asked her, do you regret pushing for that bill, the Meals Act? Do you think it led to the fraud? Ilhan Omar, absolutely not. It did help feed kids. Okay, you know, you see those, how it started, how it ended. Let's do how this started, what the funds were meant for feeding children, for helping recovering addicts find a place to live, helping disabled adults live independently, one-on-one therapy for autistic children.
That was the promise.
That was the idea. Now, here's where the funds allegedly went. You see that on the right side of the screen. Wire transfers to China and East Africa, a villa in the Maldives, first-class plane tickets, luxury vehicles, lakefront property in Minnesota, designer jewelry, and crypto. And that's just among the things we know. Yet Ilhan Omar, and to a lesser degree, even Governor Walz, is not owning up to the fact that this was so grotesquely exploited that now the House Oversight Committee under Chairman James Comer is subpoenaing documents and may even drag people like Governor Walz up to Capitol Hill to say, did any of this money that was being sent back, forget the gifts and the luxury cars, did any of this money go back to terrorist organizations? And that's what we're going to find out. Well,
and there's other questions. People want to know, did the money go overseas, get laundered, and come back? Right. There's lots of questions, and so they should keep digging and digging and digging. But it also comes to this fundamental question that we were talking about earlier, which is immigration. What kind of immigrants should we bring over? And I would say we should bring over immigrants who love our country. And if you're stealing from our country, if you're ripping us off, you don't love us. Right. And everybody who has any little finger in this pot should be taken out of here.
And if you set up an immigration system that invites people to come to this country so that they can steal, you have a really screwed up system.
Yeah. And again, we have at a more philosophical level, you know, you have all this money going out. I don't know, you know, they go, we need money for the kids because it's COVID.
Right.
And nobody's actually probably checking to say, is there a need?
Right.
Are there kids that aren't getting food because of COVID? Because there was a lot of crazy stuff happening during COVID. And so, you know, the Democrats' idea of helping is just, here's money, get it out. Get it out the door.
Never let them spend $2 trillion on anything.
Exactly. Well, and that's why you had the biggest fraud case in history, certainly in the state of Minnesota, with feeding our children. They were just making names up in rosters that didn't exist.
And to be fair, I've never seen more uncovering of fraud as much as it upsets us. And it's upsetting to see what they've done. This is the biggest fraud in our history, I think, what happened in Minnesota. But all the fraud that has been uncovered through Doge and other things, USAID, that is very encouraging. I think it will be the legacy of this administration, the amount of government fraud that we are uncovering, and it's a testament to that. There's just too much money in government.
Too much indeed.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.